righty, welcome in you can say episode 2 of the H2F2 podcast. I have KR James, Brian to my right. My name is Charlie. So we're actually doing this a little bit earlier than we usually would. Usually we're going to do it tomorrow on a Monday. We got to do it on a Sunday night. Jets play the Bills tomorrow, and a lot of us will be in attendance. So I'm just going to go over the week really quickly. Me and Siraj, Jets defense scores 4 points. I win. Nick kicked the shit out of Goof. Goof's team literally is garbage. We're going to get to these people in a little bit. They're going to be chugging. All right. So we're going to get to them in just a second.
Not the first.
And it looks like he's going to beat Shabam. Might be a little bit tight depending on what Saquon does tonight on Sunday Night Football. Mecco has a decent lead on Jimmy, but you never know what's going to happen. And then same thing, very close matchup between John and Jared. All right, so we'll keep you updated on the Instagram in terms of how that comes out. First, I want to talk to these two to my left, right here, the Hairy Gingers. We got the two co-owners right here, so we're going to talk about them first. Probably lowest scorer on the week, unless C Goose team basically shits the bed. All right, so his last player, which is going to be the Buffalo defense, and we'll see how that goes out.
Rodgers too, right?
No.
Oh, there's another player.
No, he has strictly Buffalo defense,
And he's up by what?
and you guys got James Cook.
And he's up by how much?
10.
Oh, that's gonna
So they're probably going to be chugging. So I want
yeah. That's up to you.
them to explain what happened really quickly. So you guys go real quick on what happened.
What do you want me to say? It's, week one. A lot of things are unexpected.
Here's what happened. They drafted Drake London early. That's what happened.
Hold on, if I may. Okay, so they're leaving out the part, right? So our top two wide receivers, T. Higgins and Drake London, combined for 0 points. Now the likelihood of that happening again, I would assume, is extremely unlikely. So given that T. Higgins had 8 targets, didn't catch not one of them. So that's the goose egg. Drake London had 1 target. That's a little bit concerning. So basically, when your top 2 wide receivers give you 0 points, and I think that our 2 flexes combined, I think our 2 flexes, our 2 wide receivers, and our tight end gave us a combined 15 points. Not a recipe to win games. So what's going to likely happen is we'll be chugging. You guys will get to see that.
Yes.
And we look to improve on
Let's
Let's
keep it this way, right? Fantasy is not expected to be a clear road. It's a journey. All right.
Okay.
It's a journey.
I think you mean it's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster. For us, it's always been a roller coaster. We're used to this, right? So, when we get
My co-owner was a metaphor.
I'm an optimist. What do you want me to say?
Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest with everyone. This is probably one of the worst week ones in football we've ever seen in our lives. I think our highest score is going to be is projected 140. That's just Tyreek Hill at 44 points. So I don't really think
100 points.
Yeah, I don't really think this was a good week of football. So hopefully next week's a little bit better, right? So we're going to kick into our little bit of halftime show. We're going to try to keep it nice, short, and sweet. This halftime show is the Hen House halftime show. My man Brian is our trivia expert. He's going to hit us with a couple of questions real quick. 2 questions before we get into our preview of week 2.
All right, 2 questions. Anyone can answer, obviously not me. And you need a hint, the hint will be there. First question. Last year's week 1, this player scored 39.4 points, the most of the week, to help his owner win the best team award.
Justin Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson is correct.
Justin Jefferson is correct.
I only knew that because he's the reason I took his over today in a parlay because I didn't trust the Vikings to beat the Bucs outright. I said, doesn't JJ go nuclear week 1?
He does.
And because I remember specifically Nick dancing around after taking him 4th overall and claiming that he won the league, from week 1.
This one you guys know. This next question you might get it as well because you guys know a lot about this particular subject. We've had a lot of goose eggs this week, including 2 on this team. Who leads high school history in the most goose eggs starting?
I think it might be me.
I feel like it's got to be
Either me or Goof.
I'm thinking Shabam, sneaky Shabam.
I think it's me.
It's an us after 2 this weekend.
I'm gonna take it as Nick, perhaps, as a wild card.
No.
Go Goose.
Go to people league with 7 goose eggs.
Oh my God.
All right, well, we knew Goose team was not good to start it. I mean, Duke took 3 straight tight ends in the draft.
It's half the games.
So we did it, but appreciate that. That was the halftime show, the Hen House halftime show presented by Diet Coke, all right?
We're not sponsored.
We are
We
sponsored
should be.
until we get caught.
Trust me, we are the biggest
Responsible.
sponsors of DC.
Now,
I can't live the day.
moving on to week 2 now. In a little bit, you're going to see on our Instagram, the first game of the week. It's going to be my man Mecco to my right over here versus Sigu. Our commissioner Nick is going to spin the wheel a little later this week, so you guys can catch that on the Instagram. To preview week 2, I mean, we got a couple of cool matchups. I'll just go read through them real quick. Me versus Jared, Nick versus Ann, the Hairy Gingers, the boys right here versus John, Shabam and Siraj, Nick Lamb, Jimmy, Sigu, and Mecco, and that's our game of the week right there.
Do it,
right?
baby.
That's the Dewey Bowl right there. That's going to be the game of the week there. So I'll just cut it to you guys really quickly. I don't care really who wins except me. I hope I win. But other than that, I just hope for a better week of football. I mean, what a garbage week of
Let's get some
football.
entertainment here.
Yeah, I mean, it was just bad. I mean, just looking back on the week, I mean, Tyreek Hill was literally the only one to go nuclear all week. I mean, we were praying just for a reception for anyone on our teams, especially these two over here.
And how about Cooper Cup?
Cooper Cup. Oh, Cooper Cup. All I know is Puka Nakua. If that's Cooper Cup, bro, I might have the best team in the league, but we'll save that, all right? But other than that, I mean, did you boys have anything else? I mean, we wanted to keep it short and sweet before some Sunday night football. Did you guys have anything else?
I think it's going to be a long season. First week's, in my opinion, always celebration mode. You get some stars, you get some breakout.
Some injuries.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how it plays out. I think it'll be interesting to revisit our predictions in a couple weeks, but
A little bit of advice.
hopefully we'll have more than one win, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, what's your advice?
Don't draft J.K. Dobbins.
Okay. Do you want to have a
Just
little
let him go.
Do you want to have a little vent session? No. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good bit. Yeah,
Do you want to listen? If vent session presented by Subway Soda.
If anybody does not know, Brian Mecca right here, Snow Collapse, had drafted Lamar Jackson as well as J.K. Dobbins as a stack, right? Both players from one team, and from today, we've seen that J.K. Dobbins has a suspected torn Achilles. So
No, it's confirmed.
Confirmed.
We'll be on the waiver wire next week. If any of you guys watching this do want to go pick him up, I feel bad, but that's what you get when you draft injury-prone players. That's my point.
Drafted Cooper Cup fourth overall.
No.
Drafted Cooper Cup.
Yeah, he's that. J.K. Dobbins never won a triple crown. All right, so we'll leave that. But
So let's get, I was gonna say, let's get like, maybe a 1 minute reaction from Mecca. Like, where are you mentally at? What's your plan from here on out, right? Just like a first take.
Mike Williams almost did die as well.
Mike Williams, yeah, I'm having a heart attack all day. This is supposed to be stress free. Running backs don't matter.
They don't
Let
matter.
me tell you how much they don't matter. They get replaced like nothing. They're basically trash. They get thrown around, they get hit like Bradshaw. It doesn't even matter. Next man up. Gus Edwards still has a roster spot on the Ravens.
Justice Hill?
Justice Hill. J.K. Dobbins had 8 of 9 carries in the first quarter for the Ravens. All they do is run. This was going to be a lead win for me. I know bullshit, but it was.
Yeah, no, he was looking good. I mean, I put him in the TD part.
Year after year after year after year, just get hit with injuries. Year after year after year after year.
Your
It's
team was
left
so
off.
healthy last year.
What?
Your team was so healthy last year.
What happened? I forgot about the part where his team stayed fully healthy last year, and now he's just playing. All right, guys. Well, we want to keep it nice and short and sweet. What I will say is don't overreact to week 1.
Yep.
All right. I remember last year, I put up like 160 points. I was like, this team is going to be nasty. Everyone 6 and 8 and missed the playoffs, right? So don't overreact.
Still hasn't made the playoffs.
I remember. Don't worry, same record between us two. Same record. All right, but that's really it for us. I mean, do you guys have anything else? No? All right, like I said, we were gonna keep it short and sweet. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, you can check us out on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. We'll post on that a little bit later in the week. You can also check us out on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, for some more entertaining content throughout the season, all right? We wish you well. Peace out from episode 2 of the H2F2 pod.
Alrighty, guys, welcome to the second part of our episode 2 of the H2F2 pod. First one was a little short just because we wanted to fit it in before Sunday Night Football, and that was a mistake because the Giants got shitted on, all right? But I just wanted to do a quick couple updates. Biggest update, Aaron Rodgers, confirmed torn Achilles. His season is over. The Jets' season is over. I was there in person along with a couple other people in the league, and those Jets fans, man, Jets are going to jet. So what impact does that have on the rest of the offense? I mean, Garrett Wilson goes from a wide receiver 1 to, I don't know, wide receiver 2, 3. I don't really know. You can't trust Zach Wilson, so let's hope they may get another quarterback via trade or whatever it may be, because as we saw last year, Zach Wilson, he can't make that wide receiver good. So it's going to be tough for Garrett Wilson. I mean, Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall are going to get a lot of work. So the offense as a whole is going to go down, but I don't really necessarily think their value is just going to plummet like Garrett Wilson would. So that's tough for those owners. I know John has Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook. So, but just to recap the week, I mean, we have our weekly report from Sleeper. Shout out Sleeper. So I'll go over it. High score on the week. Congrats. Highest coochie to our Iron Man FFC with 147.3. And then congratulations to our chugging team. 2 for the price of 1. The Hairy Gingers. James and KR, we are going to look forward to that chug, my brother. So make sure you get that in so we could post that on the Instagram. Alrighty. Players of the week. Here we go. All those who said Jordan Love stinks, go screw yourself. QB1, 23 points on the week. John with Aaron Jones, 26.7. Aaron Man FFC had Tyreek Hill fall into his lap because I'm an idiot. 44.5 points. Nick Lamb with TJ Hawk, 11.5. That was a high-scoring tight end that someone started. That position is miserable. Jared, Tyler Bass, 13.4. And then Jimmy with the Cowboys defense, 37 points. We're going to get that into a second. Bench warmers of the week. We got Tua on Kayor, the Hairy Gingers. Kayor and James's team with 27.14 on the bench. What are you going to do? You're going to start Pat Mahomes no matter what. Tyler Algier on Jimmy's bench, 24.4. 29.1 points from Jacoby Myers on Siraj's bench. And then 6.6 from Dalton Kincaid is a bench warmer of the week. That is just, this tight end position is just insane, especially with Kelsey, Andrews, Kittle hurt. Oh my God, what the fuck. We'll just go over most efficient manager, Jared. 121.84 points, max points 124. His team just stinks. Least efficient manager, the Hairy Gingers. What a terrible team. Max points 106. Wow, even if they played the right people, they still would have lost. 84.54 like we just went over. John with highest points in a loss. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, we're going to get to that in the recap. 120.98. Nick Lamb with the lowest points in a win, 101.4. That's what you get when you face the Hairy Gingers, I guess. Biggest blowout, Ant versus Shavam. Narrowest victory, Jared versus John. John losing by less than a point. That can stings. Overachiever, Ant. Underachiever, KR. So, we're going to go just recap through the weekly matchups here. We'll start with Nick and Goof. Nick talked all this shit all year round, like he's got the best team since the draft, and then this and then that. Right before kickoff, he trades Herbert and Isaiah Likely for DeAndre Swift, and then DeAndre Swift ends up getting him 1.3 points, and Herbert put up, I think, 11. Guy's not a good manager, fantasy manager. Let's just get that out of the way. But he does get the win over Goof by 16 points, 105.34 to 89.08. Now, Goof's team just sucks. I mean, I know on the episode 1 we were talking about how my team sucks the worst. If Michael Pittman didn't take a screen pass for 70 yards for a touchdown, he would have been looking in the 70-point range. So his team is absolute shit. All right. Dallas Goedert taking all those he takes all those tight ends, and his tight end can 0 points. The only one he starts to get 0 points. I mean, he has Kyle Pitts on the bench that has 6 points. Dude drafted 3 straight tight ends, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, and his tight end still stinks. I mean, absolutely nuts. But Nick gets the victory. I mean, 105 points on a usual week is not going to get you a win, but this week it does. Now we go. Same thing. Nick Lamb. This is a bad week of fantasy football for everyone. Nick Lamb wins over the Hairy Gingers, 101.4 to 84.54. So it's eating time. Travis Etienne, 21 points. Beautiful. I mean, when your wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 combine for 0 points, it's very unlikely that you're going to win a game, of course. So, I mean, 9 targets between them, not a single catch. That just stings. Nothing you can really do about that. That's not on really the Hairy Gingers. I mean, I probably would have started Mostert over Deion Jackson, but like other than that, that's just adding like 10 points. They're still going to lose. Doesn't matter. I mean, just a bad week overall. Nick Lamb even had Aaron Rodgers, and that's what I want to get to right now. So Aaron Rodgers is now hurt, as we went over. So Nick Lamb, he does have Kirk Cousins on the bench, so I'm going to assume that's going to be his starter for the rest of the year or make a trade. But as of now, Kirk Cousins is going to go in. Tough, because I'm telling you right now, Garrett Wilson is that guy. So I'm sure Aaron Rodgers would have had at least a decent year for him. But Nick Lamb gets that win right there. Then we go on, high score of the week, Ant over Shavam, the rematch of the first Hasbulla Hub Championship, 147.3 to 114.02. Now, there's one person that matters in this matchup. Tyreek Hill, and that's all that really matters. 44.5 points. I mean, dude is a dog. So, I mean, nothing really out of the ordinary from this matchup other than him going off. Your typical dudes doing their typical thing. But yeah, I mean, when you face the highest scorer, it's going to be, of course, hard to win, right? Can't beat the highest scorer unless you're the highest scorer. So it does suck. Tutu Atwell on the bench. I mean, Shalom does have Breece Hall, so I actually think, I'm not going to say it's going to help Breece Hall, but they may rely on him and Dalvin Cook a lot more. So now that you saw Breece Hall break a couple runs, he's still that guy. So that'll probably be in Shavam's. He'll probably be in Shavam's starting lineup next week, week 2. All right, moving on. Rematch of last year's championship. Jimmy Meemaw Revenge Tour over Snorkel Ops, 137.56 to 114.76. Now, let's air it out. J.K. Dobbins, torn Achilles. Mecco's RB1 is now going to be Rashad White. So he's going to have to fill a hole on his team. Not his fault. I mean, J.K. would do it in the first, I don't know, quarter and a half, 2 quarters, almost 12 points. He had the touchdown. He was looking good. Other than that, I mean, Mecco had some good team. I mean, Calvin Ridley looks amazing. So him, Justin Jefferson, and Devontae Smith are probably going to be able to carry his team as long as Lamar puts up more than 6.5 points against the Texans. But I think he'll be all right for the rest of the season. I mean, when you look at Jimmy's team, his team really did nothing. I mean, Deshaun Watson was fine, 20 points. CeeDee Lamb kind of stunk. Oh, and then you go all the way down there, and Cowboys defense had 37 points. Okay. That was the massacre on Sunday Night Football over the Giants. I mean, when the other person's defense scores 37 points, it's going to be hard to win. I mean, I'm surprised this wasn't even more of a blowout. I mean, just the rest of Jimmy's team kind of stunk to bed, but like 37 friggin' points. Holy crap. And he had Algier on the bench, Rashee Rice. I mean, nothing Mecco really could have done. Graham Gano minus 2 points, just not a good week from the Giants. Freiermuth is hurt. Mike Williams is a little bit hurt, but I think they should be good for next week. But the big story here is J.K. Dobbins being out for the season, so Mecco's going to have to fill that hole. Then we got the narrowest victory, Jared over John, 121.84 to 120.98, so less than a point. Been there before. A lot of us have been there before in the league, so we know that hurts. If Joe Burrow put up, instead of 3.18, put up 4.18, John would be looking at a victory. So that stings, especially when you have Joe freaking Burrow and he's only putting up 3 points. Rest of John's team played good, but I mean, Aaron Jones kind of tweaked the hamstring. I know Eckler's questionable, I think with an ankle, I want to say. And they combined for almost 53 points. So that's going to be John's focus probably for this next week. And then going on to Jared's side, I mean, Khalil Herbert helps him get a victory, 11.4, I was going to say. Yeah. I mean, Jared, no one on his team really went off, but no one on his team really sucked. I mean, Fields probably should be better. I mean, he doesn't really look good as a quarterback, and we'll get to that when we go over my matchup. But everyone was pretty consistent on his team, just helping with the victory. So a narrow victory, you need those in fantasy football over the years, and especially over a year-long season. That we might be looking at this in week 13 and 14, and if this was switched, maybe the playoffs are a little bit different, right? So Jared gets the win there. And then we'll go over my matchup. Came down to Monday Night Football, as you guys saw on the Instagram. I was down by a couple of points in the Jets defense, and they came through. So Jordan Love, everyone was talking shit about him. He's QB1. I'm sorry, bro. Siobhan, I'm looking at you. You want me to trade for Daniel Jones when I got Jordan Love? Now, going over this, it didn't look good for me, really, after Thursday Night Football. Amon-Ra St. Brown, as we know, my favorite player, did me dirty, scoring 19 points. You know, Pacheco was all right, scored 10. So it wasn't looking good. Now, I don't look throughout Sunday football, and you know, I let it go. So it came down to Monday night. I mean, 124.7 to 107.84. Not like I blew him out of the water, but the biggest thing here is Jets defense coming up with 20 points for me. Absolutely electric. Zay Flowers looks like a dog, so that's good for me. Addison looked good as well. Ramondre Stevenson is splitting with Zeke, so not good. The biggest problem, though, DJ Moore. What is that offense doing? I mean, what are we doing here? 2 targets. You traded the first overall pick for another one and basically DJ Moore, and then you give him 2 targets when you haven't beat the Packers since since Brett Favre basically got there. Makes no sense, but yeah, I mean, it was a pretty even matchup. Really didn't have anyone go off. I mean, Chikakonko 0 points. Second straight year, my tight end first week at 0 points. No one really went off on Siraj's team. Yeah, it was a pretty even matchup, but the Jets kind of killed them on Monday Night Football. So we're going to look towards next week. Just a quick little preview. I know we already did one, but I'll do it. Jared versus me, Charlie. Ant versus Nick. John versus the Hairy Gingers, Kayor and James. Siraj and Dweed versus Shavam. Jimmy versus Nick Lamb. And then our game of the week, the Dewey Bowl, Mecco versus Seagoof. I'm not going to do any predictions or anything like that. We'll leave it up to you guys. We got our first game of the week. That means the first wheel spin and the first punishment coming up. So expect to see us have that chug out pretty shortly. Shout out to Commissioner Nick. He's going to put that together. And then that wheel, okay? So let's go. Week 2. I mean, the standings right now. We got Aaron Man FFC, Me Mom's Revenge Tour, Waste Management Incorporated, the Aaron Boone Disciples, Los Pollos Hermanos, and It's Eating Time, all 1-0. And then My Ek, My Back, Snorkel Ops, Return of Thanos, Damn Bad LLC, the Goof Pack, and the Hairy Gingers, all at 0-1, all right? It's early. Like I said, last year, I started off 1-0, and then I was grinding my teeth to try and get another victory basically all season. So just 1 week, you know. I'm going to move on to week 2. But it's going to be an exciting season. I mean, I don't know what the Jets are going to do. I feel bad for the Jets fans. Giants didn't look good. I know we got a couple other favorite teams in the league, but it doesn't look good. But thank you guys for listening once again. Like I said, check out the IG, TikTok, Twitter. Going to be posting on all of them. And wherever else you guys enjoy your podcast, you could listen up. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.